everyone, welcome to Bingo Learning. My name's Eva and today we're going to be looking at Read Aloud, one of the task types from the PTE speaking exam. Before I start today, I wanted to discuss two key terms that I'm going to be using in my Read Aloud videos. The first of which is syllables, as we can see here. When I talk about syllables, I'm referring to the individual sounds that are contained within a word. We can think of these as the number of beats within a word. So for instance, if we look at the word speaking, we can see that this word has two syllables, speak and ing. Whereas if we look at the word international from the task that we're going to be looking at today, we can see that this word actually has 5 syllables, in, ter, na, shun, ul. So being able to break up longer words into individual sounds helps us with our pronunciation in Read Aloud, particularly when we're trying to pronounce unfamiliar words. Stress is the second key term that I wanted to go through today. Stress is also important when it comes to improving our pronunciation for Read Aloud. Within each word, there are syllables which need to be stressed. For instance, if we go back to the examples from earlier, in the word speaking, we stress the first syllable here, speaking. However, for the word international, we actually stress the third syllable, so it's international. So hopefully you all understand what I'm speaking about here. Within a sentence, there are certain words entirely that we will stress or emphasize, but stress can also work within the word. So there are always certain syllables that we should be stressing within the word, and this is really crucial to how well the computer is going to understand what you're saying and the overall oral fluency mark that you're going to receive for your Read Aloud task. So, moving on from here, let's have a look at the Read Aloud that we're going to be going through today. In Read Aloud, I'm sure you're all aware that we get the same amount of time to read through the text and to prepare to speak as we actually do to speak within the task. So, there are 4 key steps that we need to go through before we start speaking. The first thing we should be doing is looking at which words within the paragraph are unknown to us or may be hard to pronounce. So here there's a couple that I want us to look at. So if we just change it to green here so it's nice and clear. So we can see the word international can sometimes be difficult that we were speaking about before. So for each of these words that are difficult, we want to stretch them into syllables and then figure out which syllable to emphasize. So here we have international, international, international. So we've got that key syllable there, which we know we need to emphasize. The second word that might be challenging for us is astronomical. Astronomical. Which syllable do we think that we emphasize here? Astronomical. We can hear that it's quite clearly this first syllable. So even though there are 5 syllables within this word, it's very long. If we break those syllables up individually, our pronunciation becomes a lot easier. However, after we do that, it's also crucial, as I was saying before, that we figure out which syllable we need to stress or emphasize. So astronomical. Let's look at the next word. Passionate. Again, it's this first syllable of the 3 here that's going to be crucial for us to emphasize. What about this word here? It looks as though there are 3 syllables, general. However, when we pronounce this word, we actually only say 2 syllables. So this word is pronounced just general. Which syllable do we think we emphasize there? General. Yes, it's the first syllable. What about this word here, assembly? This one is a 2nd syllable. Meeting is nice and obvious for us. What about this one here? Definition. 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 So that's that first syllable there. Again, our last really challenging one here is this word, specifications. Some of you may not have seen that word before, but that's okay. There are still ways in which we're able to correctly pronounce a word, even if the read aloud task is the first time we've seen it. So here, let's break it up into syllables. Specifications. So T-I-O-N-S is always pronounced shins. Specifications. Specifications. So yes, it's the first syllable again that's emphasized there. What about just finally this word here, decision? Decision. Most of you will have seen this word before, a synonym for choice. However, it's the second syllable that we need to be emphasizing here. Decision. Okay, so now that we've gone through and we've stretched those longer or more difficult words into individual syllables, and we've figured out which parts of the word we need to be emphasizing, the next thing that's really important for us to do is figure out exactly where in the read aloud task we're going to be pausing. Pausing is just as important as emphasis when it comes to read aloud. So, in terms of figuring out our pausing, we need to do two things. We need to take into account where exactly in the text there's punctuation being used, because this is going to give us some key clues as to where we need to be pausing. Okay, so as you can see, I'm circling in yellow every point here where we have punctuation. Okay, so we know that we're going to need to be pausing at those points. However, generally speaking, we'll want to pause a little bit more than this. Okay, not for a particularly long time, because obviously in PTE, if we pause for more than 3 seconds, our microphone closes. Okay, so we never want that to happen. However, it's also important that we're able to separate the clauses within the sentence from each other to figure out where to have these smaller pauses. So these pauses that exist outside of our punctuation here. So let's have a look and figure out where these are going to be. Pluto lost its official status as a planet yesterday, when the International Astronomical Union downsized the solar system from 9 to 8 planets. Although there had been passionate debate at the IAU General Assembly meeting in Prague about the definition of a planet and whether Pluto met the specifications, the audience greeted the decision to exclude it with applause. Okay, so as you can see, I've separated these clauses here to give us a little bit more of a hand as to where we should be pausing here. The next thing that we do, moving on from here, is look at which words we should be emphasizing within the sentences and clauses themselves. We're starting with Pluto, okay? This is a proper noun. It's the name of something and it's the subject of the sentence. So that's definitely a word that we want to be emphasizing here. International Astronomical Union, again, we want to be emphasizing this, each of these words, because it's the name of something. Again, so proper nouns, generally speaking, are emphasized within the sentence. Solar system is also really crucial here. Although there had been passionate debate, because the word passionate is quite a dramatic, strong adjective, that would be a useful word for us to emphasize here. Again, the IAU General Assembly meeting is the proper noun, it's the name of something, so we want to be emphasizing that as well. Prague, again, the name of a place, let's emphasize that too. Planet is quite crucial here because we're speaking about the definition of a planet. So those two words are very crucial in terms of our understanding. So they're useful words to emphasize here. Again, applause at the end is very crucial to how we're understanding this sentence here. So let's emphasize that as well. So now that we've done all this preliminary work, obviously I've worked through it very slowly today, so it will be a much quicker process in the exam room. We're actually ready to have a go at speaking. So, can everybody please take a note of how I'm using the notes I've made here around emphasis, pausing, and stressing certain syllables within the word to do a really great job of this read aloud task. Pluto lost its official status as a planet yesterday when the International Astronomical Union downsized the solar system from 9 to 8 planets. Although there had been passionate debate at the IAU General Assembly meeting in Prague about the definition of a planet and whether Pluto met the specifications, the audience greeted the decision to exclude it with applause. Thank you for joining us for our Read Aloud short video today. Stay tuned for next time.